Hi guys! Welcome back to Movie Month. Today I thought it would be fun to just talk about the movies that I love the most. Some of these movies are just movies that either formed my childhood or just furthered my love and interest into movies. And I'm grateful for every single one of these in different ways. Not in any particular order, these are my 15 favorite movies of all time. Now these 15 movies, like I said, are in no particular order except for the number one, which will always be my forever number one movie of all time because it's right here at my heart and it will never go away. And also this list is very personal. I am not saying that these movies are all great, wonderful, flawless, fantastic movies, even though I think some of them might be. But if you don't like them, you don't like them. I personally love them, so this is completely subjective. This is in no way a definitive list of the 15 best movies of all time, but this is my favorite, so let's get to it. First we have Finding Nemo. I freaking love this movie. This movie is it's just so good. There's really nothing to dislike about this movie. I can't think of anything that's like why you would like dislike it. I just can't. It's so beautiful, so well animated, and the characters are so funny and memorable, and Dory and Marlin and Crush and Nemo, of course, are just all so great. Everything about this movie is beautiful, and I love it a lot. Speaking of Pixar, this is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. This is Up. This is such a gorgeous, gorgeous movie. The characters are all great. The story is so simple, but so beautiful. This movie is, ugh. I want to hug it. Dawn of the Dead. Complete departure from the two that I just mentioned. This is probably my favorite comedy of all time. Definitely my favorite with Cornetto Trilogy. Edgar Wright is hilarious. Can't really go wrong with the comedy duo of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. This movie is at parts very funny, very scary, and also really sad, and also really heartwarming. It's just a very multifaceted comedy slash horror slash zombie movie. It's so funny, and I love it. I love it to death. Right back on the Disney train, y'all. This won't be the last one you see, so get used to it. It's Beauty and the Beast. I have talked a lot about how much I think Beauty and the Beast is maybe the perfect animated movie. It is gorgeous, just in terms of aesthetics and animation, but the music is beautiful. Thank you, Alan Menken and Howard Ashman. Anyway, but the characters are great, the music is great, just the movie itself is a wonderful, beautiful movie, and I cannot wait for the live action version coming out in March. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for it, and I wouldn't be excited for it if this movie weren't so spectacular. Next is Amadeus. This movie is brilliant. Amadeus is one of the most well-crafted movies I've ever seen. I think it's a beautiful, brilliant, just well-made movie. Ugh. It's a great movie. Next is Kill Bill. I picked up Volume 1 just because it was the closest one, but really the whole Kill Bill franchise. Kill Bill, just as a whole, is one of my favorite things. It's what got me into Quentin Tarantino, who is my personal favorite director. I just really like his style. I like the way he tells stories. I think they're really creative. My favorite Tarantino movie. I think Kill Bill is an excellent representation of Quentin Tarantino, and it's a good time. Good time. Very violent though. Don't watch it if you're a child. It's very violent. Next is Moulin Rouge, which is what's playing in the background. Moulin Rouge is my favorite musical, and that's saying something because I love musicals a lot. It's kind of a divisive movie. It's definitely not for everybody. Baz Luhrmann has a very particular style, and it's very flashy, very frenetic, and it's very much in your face. There's nothing really all that subtle about it, but I love the songs. I think Ewan McGregor has a fantastic voice. and anytime your song comes on my iTunes, I swoon a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. I can't say that this is a movie for everybody. This is not a movie I recommend for everybody because it's crazy, but I love it. Next is How to Train Your Dragon. This movie is just not talked about that much, but I think it deserves more praise than it's gotten. It is so good, so beautiful, and I think it rivals a lot of Pixar or Disney movies. I think this is by far DreamWorks' best movie, and I think it's their most well-made movie. I think it's just a very beautiful, confident movie, and, you know, Toothless is adorable. Look at him. Look at him. Next is Shrek. Another DreamWorks movie. Shrek just holds more of a nostalgic place in my heart. I know a lot of people prefer the second Shrek to the original, but I just got a soft spot for it in my heart, man. I still think it's a really kind of neat subversion of all the Disney fairy tale tropes, and there's a whole story behind that if you care to look into it. I just really like it, and it's just one of my favorite movies from when I was a younger kid. So Shrek, man, it's awesome. Next is The Princess Bride. I really love this movie. It's such a sweet, well-meaning comedy, romance, adventure, satire, parody. I don't know. It's great. I love Wesley. I love Buttercup. I love everything. It's so cute. It's so good. Just everything about it is so wonderful. And I like it because since it's comedy, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. There's some dumb stuff in here, but it's purposefully dumb. And I love it. It's surprisingly smart and well-intentioned and just really nice. I really like it. Next is Grease, which I think is probably the oldest of these movies. I will admit that I don't think Grease is the best movie ever. I don't even know if it's aged that well. But this is a movie straight out of my childhood. It's pure nostalgia for me. Does it have the best messages? No. Is it the most well-acted movie? No. But do I love John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John? Oh, heck yeah. This movie is so much fun. I love it to bits, and I think it was my favorite movie for a long time. Next is Spirited Away. I've also talked about this movie a little bit. It's my favorite Studio Ghibli movie. This movie is so brilliant, so gorgeous. It's such a deep, surprisingly deep movie about childhood and growing up and what it means to be a kid, what it means to be an adult, what it means to grow up, and, you know, it's so beautiful, and I love it so very much. It's such a great movie. It's this movie, Lion King. Okay, I know. I've talked about this movie so many times. Everyone knows by now that this is my favorite Disney movie of all time. So of course, since I love Disney so much, this is going to be in my top 15 favorite movies. That's a no-brainer. So it was only a matter of time before I pulled it out of my stack to talk about it. I really won't go into much because I've already talked about why I love it so much. It's just epic and big and wonderful, and the animation is beautiful. It's so good. I actually talked about this movie a little bit last week. It's Titanic. Titanic is actually a really big influential movie for me. This is the movie that actually kind of got me into history. I was obsessed with not just the movie, but the actual Titanic itself. And it drove me on a path of research. I wanted to learn more about the Titanic. I remember being at my elementary school's book fair and picking up books on the Titanic, and from there my history bug just grew. I remember picking up books on presidents, picking up books on American history, just all these kinds of things, and that just manifested itself more and more when I started learning more about history and started realizing that I loved it so much. And Titanic, I think, was a big catalyst of that. Not the full cause, I don't think, but definitely a catalyst. I think that kernel was always there, but this one definitely exploded that kernel and turned it into a bucket of popcorn of knowledge. Great metaphor, right? But anyway, I love this movie. Is it the best movie? I don't think so. Is it one of the best movies of all time? I can't say that for sure, but it's definitely one of my favorites, and I will forever be grateful to this movie. Getting to the number one, and this is absolutely my favorite movie of all time. All the others don't have numbers, they're just in that list, but this one is the only one that is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Okay, really, Lord of the Rings in general. It's my favorite franchise. But Return of the King specifically is my favorite movie of all time. It just speaks to me on a nerd level. It's such a beautiful movie. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but it's perfect for me as a person. I love this movie to bits, and it didn't help that these extended editions come with insane special features, man. I mean, these two whole discs of nothing but documentaries, and they are chock full of stuff that just make you appreciate the craft that went into making Lord of the Rings. It's my favorite movie, and every time I think about it, I kind of feel like crying. That's how much I love it. Well, there you guys have it. Those are my 15 favorite movies of all time. I love each and every one of these movies, all for different reasons. They are great. They are wonderful to me. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I want to know what your favorite movies are. Please, please let me know what your favorite movies are. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, on Snapchat, and on Letterboxd. And I will see you next week with a brand new video. Bye! Mwah. At the end of this month is going to be the Oscars or the Academy Awards. And if you didn't know already, the Academy Awards is one of my favorite things that I look forward to, especially at the beginning of the year. And it's because I love movies. I love the art of filmmaking. I love learning about movies. I love learning